Alright, for problem number 12, we have the sine of 3 pi over 4, which 3 over 4 is 0.75, so 0.51 pi, meaning that it's in the second quadrant, which means my answer is going to be positive. Now, since 180 divided by 4 equals 45, I have my 45, 45, 90 triangle, which is 1, 1, and the square root of 2. Which means that opposite is over here, hypotenuse is right there, so I got 1 over the square root of 2. Next problem we have is the cosine of 5 pi over 6, and that's 0.833. Which means that if this is 0.5 pi and this is 1 pi, then 0.833 is once again the second quadrant, which means my answer is negative. Now, if I do 180 divided by 6, we have the reference angle of 30 in my 30, 60, 90 triangle. 1, 2, and the square root of 3. The cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So that would be negative square root of 3 over 2. Alright, so the next one we have the tangent of 22 pi over 3, which when I divide that, it's 7.333. So when we do this, that's 2, that's 4, that's 6 pi. Which means over here is 7 pi, and this would be 7.5 pi, which means I am in quadrant number 3, which means my answer is positive. Now once again, I have a 30, 60, 90, except for 60 is my reference angle. And this over here is the square root of 3, so the opposite over the adjacent, which is the square root of 3. For problem number 15, I'm going to change it from what's on the, I'm going to do the sine of negative, let's do negative 7 pi over 3, which is negative 2.333. So since it's negative, I went the other way, and that's negative 2, and that's negative 2.5. So I'm in quadrant number 4, and just for make sure for the last time, all students take calculus, so the only thing that's positive in quadrant number 4 is the cosine, which means my answer is negative. And then I have the 60, same one that I had for the last problem. So that's square root of 3, 2, and 1. So the sine is square root of 3 over 2. Now the next 4 are the ones that are the easiest, or I shouldn't say easiest, but you have to kind of remember, and you can look at your graphs to help you out. Sine of 13 pi, cosine of 13 pi. So the sine of anything pi is 0. And the cosine of anything pi over 2 is 0. So here's the two that we need to figure out. So this was 16 and 18. So what we need to figure out is where this is. So this is going to be 10.5 pi. And since the 10 is positive, my answer is going to be positive because this is even. Since this is odd for the cosine, odds are negative, so I got the answer of negative 1. And that's the last part of this review.